Agents, it's the 29th of July 2025. I am back from my holiday. It's vendor reset time. This is very late today, but do not worry. Normal service will resume as of tomorrow, so please do hit that bell so you are notified for my new videos and you get all that great information. So with all that said though, let's check out the base of operations vendor. So he has got a Pyromaniac right off the rip. You could change the accuracy to damage target out of cover. Not a great gun anymore though, so maybe, yeah, it's probably one for the collection unless it might actually get a buff. Then everything else though here is kind of trash, so let's just move straight on. Clan vendor has got a cold relations. Just change the damage target out of cover and you get perfect. Strained. Probably another one for the collection though, so yeah, just keep that in mind. We got a striker's mask, pretty well rolled on the weapon damage. We got a rigger chest piece, some Umbra initiative knees, and then doesn't look like there is much of anything else. Empathic resolve again with status effects, not great. This overlord's mask could be okay if you're doing some kind of rifle headshot build. It's already got really good rolls on it as well, so that would be pretty useful. There is a China light mask which is explosive damage, but status effects you would have to put skill damage here at the bottom, but it does depend on what skills you are running. Everything else though is kind of trash, so let's move on. The countdown vendor has got a LUD. A few people do like this, I don't. It comes in, I think it underperforms massively even with perfect streamline, but again, if you want to use it, just change the crit chance to damage target out of cover and you'll be pretty good. Some really good Foxy's Pros. I mean, a lot of people have these by now, but if you're a new player and you've got some countdown credits to spare, probably pick these up. Everything's really well rolled. Just a little bit of optimization here needed on the weapon damage. We then got the Devil's Due. And although perfect clutch isn't brilliant, this one's actually pretty well rolled. You could just change the explosive resistance to critical hit chance, and there's not a lot of work needed to max this out. Let's move on. All right, at the theater, we've got some Eagle's Grasp. Again, pretty well rolled. You can choose to keep this crit damage or crit chance, so might be worth picking up. Or you could be going headshot damage with these as well. So some really good options there for them. Then we've got some 511 with crit chance and crit damage. I mean, yeah, alright, we could put the armor core to a weapon damage, but are we really going to use these? Probably not. Let's just move on. Alright, down at the castle, we've got a Rasa if you want it with perfectly steadied handed. This is not a bad pickup. It does need a little bit of work, but you could keep it exactly like this with crit chance or put rate of fire on it. Then you've got yourself a really good named LMG. Then, I mean, there's not a lot of anything else here. This Overlord's holster could be crit chance, crit damage, but I mean, if you're using Overlords, you're probably not going to be using these. You probably use the Foxy's piece, unless you're going 3-piece, which you could be. So this might be worth a pickup in that case. With all that said though, let's just move on. Alright, we've got the Campus vendor with a Carnage, one of my favourite LMGs. This one does need quite a lot of work, although it's rolled exactly how I would use it. So you might want to pick this up, but like I said, there is quite a lot of optimization going to be needed there as well. You could take this Negev and just keep it as it is and maybe change the talent. Rate of fire is not a bad choice. And then everything else though, not great, so let's just move on. DZ West has got his Baker's Dozen, a great starter gun if you're quite new to the game. Unfortunately though, it does require DZ credits, so not the easiest to get. You're probably worth just farming it maybe in Countdown or somewhere else. We got a Future Initiative set of gloves, we got a Future Initiative set of knees as well. There is some Araldi gloves with headshot on. I mean, you probably wouldn't use Araldi gloves if you're going to use the Araldi set, but they are there with headshot on nonetheless. Again, with the Sokolov knees, probably not the perfect slot for Sokolov knees, but we have got crit chance, weapon handling ones, could be crit chance, crit damage, but again, a lot of work needed on that core attribute, meaning you're probably just better farming a set of something else in Countdown. Let's move on. DZ East has got some claws out. These are DZ exclusives or named cash exclusives. If you want to get them, unfortunately though, they've got status effects on, meaning you'd have to keep the core attribute yellow, which kind of takes away from them being great for a pistol build. But again, up to you. We've got a really good SVD here with damage target out of cover. A little bit of optimization needed, but you could put whatever talent on you want. An MG5, which is not great, but a tip of the spear mask, a breaking point holster, and there is a Zeodoka holster here that's crit chance, could be crit chance, crit damage. But again, are you really going to be spending DZ credits on this or just farming it in countdown? So let's just move on.
Come see me.
DZ South has an invisible hand with perfect Allegro. There's no regular Allegro in the game. It's a shame that this gun is not better. We've got a grown great with damage target out to cover, but it needs a lot of optimization. Definitely just not worth it. We got a rigger backpack, aces and eights chest piece. We got an R&K backpack. I mean, it's got skill haste on. You could put something else there instead of skill damage, but again, not great. This is all just trash, so let's move on. At the Brooklyn vendor at the bridge, we've got a Vector SBR with strained. Definitely not a great choice. We've got a military M9 with damage target out of cover. I mean, if you really want to use this pistol, this is probably the way to go, meaning you can put whatever talent you want on it. There's just not a lot else here. It's all just trash. There is a protection from elite mod here with 11%, but I mean, you want 13s or 12s at least, really. Let's just move on. At the Haven vendor, we've got a PP just like mine, but I mean, it's got killer on it. You could put damage target out to cover on it, but you're pretty locked in at that point. There is a tactical sausage. Who doesn't like sausage? With damage target out to cover on it. Change the talent to whatever you like. This is probably the best thing we've had this week. Everything else has been absolutely terrible, which is not great. I'm not going to recommend these because look how low that critical hit chance is. Even though it could be crit chance, crit damage, it's just not worth it. Same with this mask as well. That is so much optimization needed. Just go farm one in heroic countdown and you'll be better off. Let's go and see what Roy's got. Looking for Roy to save us. I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to be saving us this week. There's a SIG 716 with damage target out to cover. Again, a lot of work needed for something you can put whatever talent you want on. Probably best to go and farm one elsewhere. This Empress could be okay if you're doubling down and going maybe 2 or 3 piece. Skill haste, skill damage could be the way to go, but you're going to have to use explosive delivery, and that's pretty much a pretty random build at that point. That's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This video's been way too long for a vendor reset, so I apologize for that. I will try and speed it up again next week. I'm just fresh off my holiday and clearly out of practice. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.